Should you apply for a travel permit with your marriage adjustment application now that you actually have to pay for it? You might be wondering if you should include that form with your application, and is it even worth it if you're not planning on traveling during that time? Either way, you want to watch this entire video because here we're sharing some special new perks and personal experiences so you can make the right decision for yourself. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Despite being an immigration lawyer today, I actually had to go through my own immigration journey that was long and traumatic. That's why my husband and I designed this channel to help ambitious professional couples handle their own marriage green card without hiring a lawyer while avoiding all the mistakes that we've made. We used to think that you should always apply for a travel permit, or as it's called, Advance Parole. And this was true more than ever back when filing for your travel permit was free with Form I-131. However, since April 1st, 2024, this has changed. So, should you still apply for this benefit with your marriage adjustment case? But first, what is an advance parole? Approval of an advance parole gives you permission to leave the United States while your green card case is pending and then re-enter back. Without it, you are unable to leave the US without abandoning your case. In other words, if you leave the United States while your marriage adjustment is pending and you do not have an approved advance parole, your case will be denied on the basis that you abandoned it. And this is why immigrant couples often feel stuck or trapped when they initiate the green card process, especially when their cases take years to get approved. So, in order to avoid being restricted from traveling outside the US, you need to apply for a travel permit using Form I-131. Obviously, by applying and getting approved, you're then less restricted while waiting for the approval of your marriage green card. So, does that mean it is still a good idea to apply? Before we break down the important considerations about applying, please share your thoughts and maybe your personal experience or experience of someone you know in the comments so that we can all learn from them. Otherwise, ultimately, there are three important considerations to determine whether you should apply or not. The first important consideration is the new fees for applying for your travel permit. Again, prior to April 1st, you were able to file Form I-131 for free if filing together with Form I-485. Now, Form I-131 costs $630. Obviously, it makes it more economical to not apply, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't. For example, regarding the second consideration, without an advance parole, you will not be able to leave the US if there is an emergency. Emergencies are obviously impossible to predict, and while we all hope nothing bad will happen to us or our loved ones overseas, in the unfortunate event that something does happen, having an approved advance parole will allow you to handle it without any delay. Too often, even when the form was free to apply for, couples felt like it was unnecessary, only to later have a situation occur and need to travel. Of course, it is still possible to apply for an emergency advance parole, but approval takes time and you will panic and stress out when that happens. And finally, the third consideration is actually a new change implemented by the USCIS and a really big perk. And this is that they've now issuing travel permits valid for 5 years. Look, in the past, travel permits were valid for only 2 years. If the 2 years passed, your permit would expire. And that meant if your marriage green card hadn't been approved by then, you would need to apply to renew your permit. But these new 5-year permits are a first and a really huge advantage, especially in situations where your case gets stuck, whether due to errors or general processing for an extended period of time, which with the USCIS is a real possibility. So should you actually apply for Form I-131? We still think yes. And we feel this way for 3 important reasons. First, cases do get stuck all the time. Applying for an advance parole right from the start ensures you get it processed and approved sooner rather than later. And with the new permits being issued for 5 years, you don't have to hope nothing bad comes up for all the time your case is pending, which could require you to travel outside of the country. This permit ensures you can take care of any emergencies as quickly as they come up, or simply take that vacation together, which we will talk about vacations at the end of this video since it's very important that you understand all the risks. Second, you can potentially get a combo card right away. We just had a few members of our method who got combo cards in 1 month after submitting their application, all valid for 5 years. A combo card will allow you to work and travel while your green card application is pending. Also note that it's always best to submit your travel permit application together with Form I-485. Submitting Form I-131 after you've submitted your case comes with longer processing times. Since there is no way to predict whether you're going to need to travel for the next few years, it does make sense to apply from the start and benefit from faster processing. Which leads me to the final reason why you should apply, and that is because we believe processing of the new 5-year travel permits will be faster than ever before. Why? Because we foresee way less people applying for it because of the increased fees. Since it's likely that less people will apply and the USCIS increased the fees to help them increase the processing times, logically speaking, you should get it faster. There is a very possible situation where less applications get filed while the USCIS devotes more resources towards faster processing times. Hopefully. But you might also be wondering, okay, so I will apply for this travel permit, but should I actually travel when this permit gets approved? I mean, the form instructions specifically say,
the document does not entitle you to be paroled into the United States. A separate discretionary decision on a request for parole will be made when you arrive at a port of entry upon your return.
And DHS may revoke or terminate your advance parole document at any time, including while you're outside the United States, in which event you may be unable to return to the United States unless you have a valid visa or other document that permits you to travel to the United States and seek admission. It's hard to address whether you should travel with an approved advance parole while your green card is pending because every situation is different, but at the same time, understand that that's the whole point of this document. Although I must say that the general consensus is that you should only travel in case of an emergency. If you want to go on a vacation, that can be Florida, Hawaii, or even Puerto Rico. Obviously, no travel for those with criminal convictions, even if the conviction is old, or removal orders, which in some situations people don't even know that they have a removal order. So long as you have no inadmissibilities, you should be fine, but again, it's best to consult an immigration attorney prior to departure or just avoid traveling if possible until you finally get that green card. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching, subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to seeing you next week.